You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg, of course. That is Pat Curran on the other end. Pat, it seems like every time you and I are about to do an interview, life gets in the way. There's something. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's a horrible thing. We talked a couple times where we just stayed away from the interview because you had some crap going on.
Mm.
Um, how tough is it? I talked to a lot of athletes about this in all sports. How tough is it maintaining family life and family relationships while training and being in training camps? And for the folks at home that don't realize, Pat Curran is very close with his entire extended family. It's not just like his wife and his kids and a couple of students. He's close with everybody. So it's a big deal when one of his family members gets hurt or sick or has an issue, he becomes the fixer. So for Pat, it's a bigger deal than most people. So Pat, kind of explain to me, because I'm not that close with my family. I don't have those issues when I was competing. How do you keep it together and still be able to compete at such a high level?
You know, it's very difficult. A life of a fighter is not easy, and a lot of people won't understand it. It's pretty much you have to be selfish in a sense. You really have to focus on yourself, and especially when you're in training camp, you got to put everything else aside. Of course, family always comes first, and I do love my family very much, and they are very supportive, and they understand when I get into a training camp that this is go time for me. I'm in the gym 24/7, and I have no life, and the gym is my life. So I just get completely obsessed, and training takes over. So my family understands that, my close friends understand that, and everyone's very supportive. So and it's not easy. Everyone sees us on TV and thinks, oh, I can do that, or that's really cool, but you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, and all the stress and everything that comes along with this.
I try to tell a lot of people that say, the life of a professional athlete's easy. I go, well, no. Imagine all the issues that they have in regular life, now compounded onto the fact that you basically either got 15 or 25 minutes to show the world that you know what you're talking about and what you can do. You're either going to be successful or you're not. And then compounded into that the money is really not millionaire money. You're not driving a Maserati. You're not living in a huge mansion up there in Illinois. It's a lot of times that your gym and your personal training and the things like that, like these other jobs that kind of keep everything together in between the fight camps. Because really, fighting, even with Bellator, who's supposed to be number two really with pay, isn't enough really for a man to survive with a family.
No, and I don't have a family. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, so I'm in that guess I guess that class
1%.
of fighters. So it's a little bit easier for me. I pretty much, this is the life I created. I have no responsibilities, very little responsibilities, and I put all my time into my training and fighting. So, and like you said, we're not making $1 million to fight. It's barely enough to survive and to live comfortable. And I try to live as cheap as I can, just because if an injury happens, you're out for a good 6 months to a year, depending on the injury. So you always have to keep that into account. But in hopes, yeah, we want to make a fortune. We want to make a good life for ourselves. You suffer now to better our lives in the future. So, and that's what I'm hoping for. That's why I work so hard, and I want to become the best that I can.
Well, let's talk about Daniel Straus. He's your opponent, your main focus, and he's the reason right now you're in the gym 24/7 and being selfish with your time and your efforts. Last time you were out, back in November of 2013, you lost unanimous decision to Straus. Rematch is happening here in Bellator, coming up on March 14th rather.
Mhm.
Main event of that night. What went wrong that night that caused you to lose that decision?
Man, I'll tell you what, I went through a lot leading into that fight, and it's not just I had an off night. There was a lot of things leading into that, and a lot of stress, a lot of extra stress that I went through that really played a toll on me. I've been suffering through a lot of depression and anxiety issues, and I went and saw a doctor. I'm on the right medication for that, and since I started that, it's really helped. Pretty much open my eyes, clear the air. The clouds went away, and it's been so much better since I went to this doctor and started getting help, and not just the doctor, but my cousin, my family, everybody's been super supportive and very helpful. And this is my first time actually coming out with it and admitting this. And I know a lot of fighters have the same issue, but I just recently found this out, so it was kind of new to me, but at the same time, I'm just happy to get that out there and get that off my chest. And now I'm refocused. I'm pissed off more than anything because I let that happen to myself, and I can't believe that I lost. I hate losing. Every fighter hates losing. We just want to win and keep winning, and we're very competitive. So, that loss has changed me a lot. And everything happens for a reason. And, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm definitely coming back a lot stronger from this.
Obviously, every athlete deals with some levels of depression. I have depression. Mark Munoz and I talked a lot about it when he first came out with his depression. We did a long interview. He actually broke the story that this is one of the deals I'm going through here with me on MMA Oddsbreaker. You're breaking your story here on MMA Oddsbreaker. It's becoming a situation because when I worked for the Atlanta Falcons, that was before the collective bargaining agreement came in. They were talking about head trauma, and part of the head trauma is depression, and it's an issue. Now, is depression run in your family, or are you the only one right now that has it?
No, we do have depression linked in our family, but I don't think anybody had it as serious as me. It was pretty bad, and I didn't realize this. And like you said, it's linked with getting punched in the head. Any type of head trauma can lead to severe depression, and untreated just keeps building up over time, and it gets worse and worse. And that's what happened to me. I just felt like I was in a hole and I couldn't get out of it, and I was just extremely, extremely depressed and just not happy. And that's definitely completely turned around right now, and training has completely flipped the switch, and I've been not just learning more moves but just enjoying my training. And before this I didn't enjoy my training. I wasn't looking forward to the fight. I was actually in my head thinking that I was going to lose. I just had that mental thought in my head. And as a fighter, you don't want that. You got to go in there knowing that you're going to win. And I have that feeling now. I know I'm going to win this fight. And mentally, I already won. I'm prepared 100%. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from winning on March 14th.
Do you? And I'm harping on this because you are better, and I do know. I've heard the rumors, and I kind of put it together on my own, so I kind of knew. We haven't talked, ladies and gentlemen, off camera about this at all. This is breaking news for me as it is for you guys at home. That I know my signs. Like I know if all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock, I'm a guy that's up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning and out of bed jumping, like going crazy. If I know all of a sudden, hey, it's 9 o'clock and I'm not getting up and I didn't go out late last night, I'm starting to spiral. So I have my signs and I have a checklist I kind of keep in my bed. And I have an ex-girlfriend that is severely depressed that right now that I kind of talk to her and try to help her out of her spacing because she's going through her checklist again, like not coming out of the house. My deal is won't get out of bed, won't come out of the house, won't cook food for myself. Like there's food, my refrigerator will be full, won't cook. So I start losing a bunch of weight. I don't go work out. Like if I start noticing these things, I go through the checklist, and I have a checklist to pull myself out of it. Have you done that same thing as a doctor and your family kind of gone, here's your checklist of when you're coming in the hole, and here's a checklist to get you out of the rabbit hole?
Honestly, no. This is and everything that you just said is me to a T. I mean, I do the same thing. I mean, like I said, I have all the food in the fridge. I lose my appetite. I don't want to get out of bed. I'll sleep constantly. I'm up all night because my mind's just racing, and it's just once your sleep schedule's off, it just throws everything off, and you just don't want to be social. You want to be left alone, and that's where I was at, and I'm still not struggling, but I'm still getting through it. This is just recent, and I understand it's a long process to go through. But we were kind of short on time with this upcoming fight, and we had to get the ball rolling. So, so far it's been for the best. Everything's been working out great, and I've been feeling great. And just definitely don't want to get back into that depressed state of mind again. And, like I said, it's terrible. It's a horrible feeling. If you've never been depressed, you don't want to feel it because there's nothing else like it. It's miserable.
Well, how's your weight? Because you're now in a position, you feel better, you acting better, you look better in this interview than you have in our previous interviews. You have a better speech pattern. You're talking better sentences. Even like people don't understand that they don't have depression. They don't understand the cycle of you're not even talking correctly for a while. Like you're mumbling and you're saying weird stuff. Weight's good because you're eating correctly and eating right.
Yep.
Training is going good.
Training's going great. Yeah. I mean, I actually have a chef for me now. I mean, my buddy Vinny, he's cooking all my meals for me, and it's leaving that part of my my diet and my training. I don't have to worry about that. So that makes it so much easier on me at the same time. So a lot less stress on that part. And he's a great chef. So, I mean, I get great food. He's telling me when to eat, and this is one less thing that I have to worry about.
The training obviously is going perfectly well, and all the new stuff you have to fix from the first fight that you saw in your flaws, besides being depressed, the physical flaws that you saw, those are being fixed without any issues, and everything's going on track.
Yeah, like I said, like when I was depressed and just didn't want to train, wasn't having fun training, I just wasn't pushing myself as hard in the gym, and I'd come up with excuses to miss days because I'm overtraining or just tired, and that's another thing. Like I've the last 6 years I've pushed it really hard in the gym. You know, I have OCD too, where I just get completely obsessed, and you know, that's been my life for the last 6 years of MMA, just wanting to learn, wanting to train, and to better myself, and that's another reason why I've gotten as good as I have in a short period of time, with the help of my coaches and the team, you know, supporting me. But yeah, it's also like a blessing in disguise too, if I want to say. You know, I mean, a lot of fighters have it, and that's why, you know, we are, you know, where we're at right now. You know.
GSP just came out saying that, you know, the reason why he quit is because his OCD was going to make him go crazy, and he had to get away from the fight game because OCD was driving him nuts. I have never met a high-level professional athlete in any sport that doesn't have some form of OCD, because you have to be at practice at 6 a.m., to go to bed at 9 o'clock every night, to eat directly within 90 minutes after. That sequence of events to become a professional athlete, you have to have OCD in certain levels. Some people, like GSP, has it severely. Some people, like you, just have it enough to all of a sudden you can accelerate over 5 years, become a great fighter without much training because you just do the patterns and the rhythms. Some people just have it, well, I got to go to bed at 9, I got to get up at 6. It's different forms and different versions. To me, it's interesting being in the sport for so long, being the second generation of OGs. Like, you know, I'm not that Gracie generation. I'm that second set. That all the stuff that we went through, you guys are going through, but you guys are better men than we are. You're more a man than I am. If I was competing still, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. But you, like you and Mark Munoz are talking about it. It's a big deal to have you talk about, because there's guys at home that are brand new to the sport, parents, girlfriends, wives, kids that want to get into it, they don't understand what they're about to go through, and now because of guys like you talking about it now, they have a shot of going, oh, I understand that. Oh, Pat Curran's got that. He's my hero. He's got it. I can deal with it. I can get through it too. You're actually going to save some lives here, and I don't think you understand how big of a deal this is to have another prominent athlete come out in our sport and go, look, I'm suffering from it, and I'm dealing with it, period.
Yeah, you know, honestly, the first person that I actually heard that had anxiety, depression issues was Jens Pulver. You know, he was up with us training for a while, and he was very open with it, and I was still not sure that I had it at the time, but you know, it definitely helped me come out with it and understand it a little more, and you know, doing a little bit of research, it just kind of all made sense. And
that's your OCD kicking in.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me? What's going on? I don't figure this out. Let me. And you sat up all night.
That's me every night. Yeah, that's a big issue. That's why another reason why I can't sleep. You know, it's just messing my schedule up. But you know, like I said, we're on the right path of fixing it, and everything's getting better right now. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Pat Curran. He's fighting Daniel Straus coming up here March 14th in Bellator MMA. It's the main event for that night. It's going to be a great fight. I actually was very disappointed in how you competed the first time. I thought for sure you're going to kick his ass. Like I'm a guy that pays attention to all these fights. I'm not going to let you know I don't pull points. I'm not going to, just because I'm talking to you, buddy, you're up. I thought you were going to whip his ass the first time. And I was like, what the hell is wrong? Unless I had a bad training camp, things must have went wrong. Now we know. And because you fixed it, you dealt with it, you're going to see a completely different fight this next time.
Oh, yeah. I'm a killer right now. I'm telling you, my training is intense, and I'm loving every day, every minute of training, and I just want to get in there and scrap. I mean, I want to get that loss off my mind and just get in there and handle business and get my belt back. You know, that's the only thing I care about right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Pat Curran about to be, in my opinion, once again, the champ at Bellator after he fights Daniel Straus to get his belt back. This is going to be a huge deal. I can't wait for this fight to happen. Pat, absolutely have the best training camp that you ever have. And if you have any issues at all and you need someone to talk to that's not inside the family and can't judge you if he wanted to because he's retired and 4 states away, give me a call, because I absolutely am one of your – obviously your family's your biggest supporters, but I'm one of your biggest fans. I love the way you fight. I love the way you train, and I'm absolutely in love with the way that you come out there and fight and have no bones about it. When you lose and when you win, you're still very humble. You never make any excuses. It's your fault when you lose. It's your team's fault when you win, and you're very humble about it, and I really enjoy that about athletes now. So I can't wait to see this fight. Thanks for coming on here. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
No, thanks for having me. All right, have a good one.
You too, Pat.
Thanks. Bye.